How can we use nature's creativity and wisdom for problem solving? Hey, it's Rishi Patel, founder of Selling in Alignment, where I work with coaches and consultants to reprice and package their services so they can discover and live their wider purpose in life. And today, we're really talking about this whole idea of nature's deep wisdom. It's innate wisdom that it has, which helps us to really get into the world of business and capitalize on some of that wisdom to solve problems. So let's talk a little bit about that. One of the things that I've found that's really helped my journey and really stimulates creativity is a simple walk in nature. And when I say nature, for me, I feel like I live in a little bit of concrete jungle inside of London where, there's lots of just built up area and there isn't really that much that you can take in. And so I like to just venture a little bit outside of the edge of London and find a really open space and just take a half day out sometimes and just have a walk. Not with the intention of exercise, with cardio, with anything else other than just to be free and just to reconnect and take some time to look at the beauty that is nature. That's it. And so what I find that really helps me have is just a clarity and a peace of mind. And inside of that state, what I've often found is that you get a little download. And so this is quite a strange concept, a download. Don't you need a computer for a download? Consider this idea for just one moment. Imagine we are supercomputers. And imagine our supercomputer's connection to the internet is not fiber optic or ADSL or broadband or anything to do with copper wires. What if it's just a clarity of thought in reconnecting back to nature? There's just a power inside of that. And if we have that reconnection back and we enjoy that, then you're connected. And what are you connected to? Another supercomputer, perhaps with all of the information, which is maybe called consciousness. And through that, you get a download. And that's what I've often found that's happened with myself, just taking some time out to walk in nature. And then there's something about just really understanding optimal productivity and understanding natural rhythms. And again, nature can be a fantastic teacher for that as well, for natural rhythms. Well, take a look at how day and night comes about. Again, this is something that's naturally occurring, and hence the word nature, okay? And so nature and natural must be looked at as very two interconnected words. Day and night. Nature doesn't force or fight, right, for day and night to come about. No. Naturally, the earth is spinning on an axis. Naturally, there's a certain amount of exposure that you have to the sun. Naturally, that there's a certain amount of exposure that you have to the moon and to nighttime. And it's beautiful. And isn't it reminding us to have that balance inside of work life as well? Is there not then a balance between work and play? Is there not a balance then between work and relaxation? And so all of these things are really important. And so I do my best to practice this as well. Some of the time where I feel like I'm doing something really intense and it's just not making progress and I'm working against a deadline, I actually will take some time to get out. May not have time to travel to a park or to do something intentional like a nature walk. It means that I may just have to go outside, be in the garden, or just be somewhere else, go to the gym, or call one of my friends and go and play tennis, go to the martial arts training dojo. Something, just to have that opportunity to unwind and relax and just find that balance again between work and play. And it's something actually that I'm personally really struggling with at the moment. It's been very, very, very challenging to balance pretty intense workload with that time for relaxation and play. And what I'm finding is that when I do intentionally take the time out for these two things, my productivity and profitability is actually much better. So there's a lot there in terms of day and night, the contrast between these two, work and play, work, relaxation. And then there's also something around cycles in nature in terms of seasons. Like, look at how seasons affect us. So in the summer, that's the time for massive growth in nature. That's the time where everything comes up and you see new flowers coming out of the ground, and spring, and hence the name of the word spring, right? Things are springing into life. And then the summer, where we really just get to enjoy that sun. Unless you're in the UK, of course, in which case, your summers are questionable. And then, of course, what comes around? Autumn. And autumn is a beautiful season. And actually, autumn is actually my favorite season, because what nature does in autumn is something gorgeous, which is it teaches us how to let go. And I have this beautiful tree outside the window, and that's why I'm looking towards it for guidance even in this moment. There is something about the way that nature lets go of that which no longer serves it inside of autumn, with the constant awareness that that will come back to it as and when is needed. There's a constant awareness that nature will give back at the time where it will get back what it needs at the time it needs it. And so there's no stress, there's no pressure, there's no constant something around, it has to come back, or no, I don't want to get let go of these leaves. You never see a tree doing that or saying that. And isn't it beautiful, right? It just lets go, and the leaves fall to the ground and they become the soil, and then that all gets rejuvenated, and then everything starts to grow again. It's incredible, right? And winter is beautiful because it brings families closer together. There's a closeness at that time of winter. Then Christmas comes around. Christmas is all about family. Regardless of cultural tradition, things start to slow down over that period in Christmas, and we start to come together. And there's a beauty inside of that again. And then spring comes back around and it repeats. And what could these cycles look like for our business? Could there be an intentional time for springing, like launching new products and services? Could there be a time where things thrive? Could there then be a time of review? What do I need to let go of? What do I need to discard that's no longer serving? And then a time to come together and build and do intentional work on the ground, where you're working on the business instead of in it. And then back to spring. So there's some beauty around this that we can apply to our coaching consulting businesses as well. And again, look at the patience that nature has. It's another lesson that we can learn. Nature really takes time to grow. It takes time to adapt. It doesn't fight. It doesn't compare itself to the next tree along. One tree won't look at another tree and say, hey, you know what? You're taller than me. I'm going to fight to grow even faster than you, right? There's just a natural temperament and a patience and a gentleness to the way which things come about and happen. And isn't it incredibly beautiful just to observe that? It can teach us so much about how to live life. Look at the amount of wisdom that's contained inside of nature. Not only that we can apply to our businesses, coaches, consultants, but also how we can look at that in terms of marketing, right? How we can look at that in terms of launch, in terms of campaigns that we're running, in terms of onboarding new clients. There's just so much there. And it doesn't stop, because then nature also has a beautiful simplicity to it around problem solving. If you look at how nature solves problems, a fantastic example is water. And the way that water solves a problem of getting from one point to another point is it just finds the path of least resistance. It's not going to go out of its way to find a complex route to get to somewhere. It's just going to look for the path of least resistance in order to create a stream, in order to get to wherever it wants to get to next. Isn't there power in that? Like, do we have to really look at others and compare ourselves or compare our journeys to other people? Or can we just have that simplicity around, hey, here's what I'm playing for in life. This is what I stand for. This is what I want in the world. This is the change I want to see in the world, and I'm being that for others. And then just find the path of least resistance to achieve that. It doesn't need to be more complex than that. And a lot of this is about really just reconnecting to our own personal brands. And then finally, what I'd like to talk about is nature's idea of this kind of creative renewal. It has this restorative space. So for example, during the winter and before spring, it's really restoring. There's work that's going on that we may not see underground, and it's spending time to recharge And how can we take that and apply that to recharging our mental and emotional energy? That's it for Intention Monday this week. I'd love to hear what you're going to take, what key excerpt you're going to take from this and apply into your week, into your month, into your life, into business. Let me know in the comments below. Until the next time, keep selling in alignment.